The argument that conservatives make is that men make more because of women and that, the men just need a woman to tame them and just make them better men. And from my experience, that wasn't the case. The case that I have seen is that if they make more money, the woman is spending it. And oftentimes, women are more of a distraction to men than a benefit in 2024. So I want to watch this video, and he's actually going to come on the show Wednesday to talk about this. But this guy got divorced over Yu-Gi-Oh!
I need to say this. I'm going to say it straight out.
And by the way, this seems like a Christian guy. He's got, I can do anything through God who strengthens me. Seems like a Christian guy.
I am no longer married and I'm divorced. When I met this woman and I told her about my Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, she hated it. She didn't like it.
He was, to give preface, he was a Yu-Gi-Oh YouTuber.
She said that, hey, you could do something better with your life. You should go back to school. So you know what I did back in 2016, 17, 16? I said, you know what? Maybe she's right. And you know what I did? I sold all my equipment. I sold my YouTube channel. I sold all my camera stuff. I'm like, you know what? Maybe it is time to move on. Maybe it's time for me to do something better with my life. Not knowing that at that time, what I had was very special. At that time, something that I chose to do, YouTube, I had something going on. Even though I had some drama and stuff going on before and I shut down my channel a few times, I had something that I completely gave up. I gave it up because someone said, hey, you know what? Maybe it is time to move on. You got to do something better with your life. There got to be something more for your life. And I sold all my stuff for a woman. And she's no longer here. And this problem persists. She told me at that time, hey, you want to meet my mother? You need a car. Because I didn't have a car at the time. I was doing YouTube. I was working from home.
So she's saying spend more money. Because men are practical. He said, I don't need a car. Why do I need a car?
I need to drive anywhere. Yes, YouTube is what I did for a living. It's how I paid my bills. And I was street performing also. How did I street perform? I just catch the bus 20 minutes down the street, played my horn, went home. I never needed a car. But when I met this woman, you have to go back to school. You have to exercise. You have to get your degree. You have to do something better with your life. Even though I explained to her, this is what I chose to do. A woman comes in your life and try to tell you the plan that you chose for your life is wrong. And out of love, I choose to say, you know what? Maybe she's right. And I took a chance. I said, you know what? I'm going to give this up completely. Like, for good. Sold the channel to Jobber. Sold all my stuff. Tried to go back to school multiple times. I don't want to say that I can't finish school, but it certainly feels like I can't. I don't know what it is. And every time I talk to people, they just think that everything I say is just an excuse. You are a grown man. You are an adult. You can do it. It's like no one can see it from my perspective. It's like I am always wrong. When I study, what I do? I fall asleep. What do they say? Hey, you're lazy. You're procrastinating. You're choosing not to do this. And I'm like, that's got to be something wrong with me. When it comes to school, studying, and staying on task and staying focused, I just can't do it. And I try. And I go back to school. And I pay all this money. And I pay all this money. And I fail, and I fail, and I fail, and I fail. Music has always been there for me. And I've always been great at it. People say that, hey, they try to test me. They say, hey, you know music, right? You know this person? No. Do you know this person? No. You know this person? No. Well, how are you a musician? I also get people say to me, hey, what key is this in? I say, I don't know. Like, well, they say, well, how are you playing? How are you a musician? How do you play so well? I am not the type of person who is book smart.
And remember, a lot of men feel like that because the school system caters to women. It's run by women, and women tend to be better at like regurgitating information back to you. They're better at things like showing up to class. So they have more emphasis on things that don't really matter as much. Where men, before I think it was the 70s or the 80s, the school system was just straight tests. You take the test, can you do it? So if guys don't see it as useful to show up to class, they just won't come. Women will come anyway. So a lot of men go through the school system and think that they're dumb or whatever because they don't learn like women.
I don't know things, but I know how to do things. I know how to do things physically in a creative way. I'm not a type of person who retains things and hold on to things, who can read a book and then take a test, pass it, and go on. That's not me. I am a creative-minded person. Anything that involves creativity, I can do.
So he's saying, I know how to do things. I don't know these theories, all this stuff. I just do it, right? That's much more like men. That's much more how men operate.
At least to some degree, where people are like, wow, you do it so well. You ever thought about going to school? No, I tried. It doesn't work. So this is all tying together. I met the parents. They asked me, hey, what do you do for a living? I had to tell them I am a musician. I couldn't tell them I was a street musician. I am a musician. Then they said, hey, you have a degree? I said, I don't have a degree. My wife's parents did not speak to me for 2 years and told her not to marry me because I don't have a degree. What sense does that make? So I give up this YouTube thing. I give up my entrepreneurial thing. I try to do something that's not innately a part of my strengths at all because I'm thinking I'm in love to do something for somebody to prove something. And this continues on through the marriage. She says, hey, you need to find a hobby. I'm like, oh, let me play Yu-Gi-Oh again. So last December, last year, I start my channel up again. I buy my channel back from Java. Like, oh, she gave me the okay to go into a hobby. You know what she said? You're spending too much time playing those cards. It's either the cards or me. She literally said that. I'm like, you just said I need a hobby. I get into a hobby, and now you said I'm doing it too much. What is it?
So I don't know what it is, but again, this is something I found out from men. They get married and women hate whatever their hobby is and try to destroy it. So for some women, it's video games. They just can't let the men enjoy their video games. Other women, it's football. They can't let the men enjoy their football. You know, ladies, we have stupid hobbies too. I mean, we like the Kardashians. And the men, they don't care. They say, okay, go watch that brain rot TV. It's not my problem. That's our thing. We like makeup tutorial. You know, I like women's sports, even though nobody watches them. That's fun to me. I like playing. You know, so many men go into marriage thinking it's the thing that Matt Walsh is saying, right? Or Ben Shapiro saying. And they get into this reality where this woman is trying to change who she is. And then they're saying, well, you just picked the wrong woman. Maybe he did. But do you think that he should be put on lifetime alimony for picking the wrong? Like, doesn't everyone make mistakes when they're young? Doesn't that happen?
She says, why are you into those cards so much? I said, hey, I need to make a video about something. And I haven't played this card game for 2 years, on and off. How can I make a video for my subscribers about something I have no knowledge of? And I try to explain it to her, but she don't get it. She thinks it's just cards.
They said it's literally doesn't matter what it is. The problem is the attention is not on her and she isn't interested in it and lacks a personality and thinks it needs to be about the status.
Play like Uno. It's not that way. Every 3 months, a new set come out, new stuff come out. I can't make a video about something if I don't know what it's about. I can't start my channel back up and just start making videos. I have to be in it. I have to learn about it and learn what's going on.
And this just broke my heart because she's trying to mold him into something he's just not. He's not the normal 9-to-5 guy. And I was looking at his channel. I don't know anything about Yu-Gi-Oh, so I have no idea what his stuff was, but I saw the views that he used to get 10 years ago and they were crazy. They were really, really high. And because he wanted to do the right thing, he gave that up for her. And this is what switched my mind on no-fault divorce. Should he be subject to that woman for the rest of his life that ruins anything he's interested in? I don't think so. You know, the idea of banning divorce, I used to say that, right? It's interesting in theory, but in practice, I don't think men like that should be punished for life for picking the wrong woman. Cut your losses, you know?
So she hated those cards. She literally cried because of those cards. And people say, hey, priorities, man. It's your wife or, you know, you got to do what you got to do. But then I'll be back at that point where I'm giving up things that I like, things that's a part of my life for someone else to feel happy. And I feel miserable in the process. I'm sitting there watching all these YouTubers come out and make videos and do all this stuff. They're traveling. I'm like, that's what I used to do. I love that. I miss that.
And you can just tell he's so passionate about it, right? You can tell that it's not even about the money for him. He just likes Yu-Gi-Oh.
Why can't she come along with my journey instead of scrutinizing me? And then that's money gone from me. It's not about the money, but that was money gone from me. Then street performing. I said to her, hey, I don't want to move away from Baltimore. You may be thinking, why? That's where my home base is. My gigs, my performances, everything. Keep in mind, I didn't have a job. Like, when I say I don't have a job, like a real job. A real job is, you know, going in 9 to 5. I didn't have a real job for over 10 years. It was YouTube and playing my horn. That's how I paid all my bills. So when we got married and we moved out to Baltimore to somewhere else that I didn't want to be, she said, hey, how come you're not paying the bills? And I was like, what? I have a job. I have a 9-to-5 job. I don't make enough from this 9-to-5 job to pay all these bills.
And that's the other thing. The trads will say, well, have a stay-at-home wife. You're not a real man if you can't pay all the bills. Well, not all the men that are doing the infrastructure jobs of this country are paid enough to deal with the modern woman's spending habits. And they can't tell her stop spending, right? We have credit cards now. What is the man supposed to do?
I could street performing in YouTube. I made enough money off of that to pay the bills. Now I'm working 9-to-5 all day long, and that's not a complaint because there are people who do that. But I had something that most people wish they had. Most people wish they can go out, make some money, pay their bills, and have all day off. That was a gift. That was something that I had. Now, you can take this video as me complaining, crying, I messed up. It is all of that. It is true. I am complaining. I am hurt. I made some mistakes. I did some dumb things. And you're right. It is my fault. I chose to sell my channel. I chose to give up the thing, not realizing, say, you know what? This is my YouTube channel. This is my life. You can't come into my life and dictate to me and tell me what's better for me because you don't see it from my perspective. And then get mad at me when I lose all of those things. I can't do what you think I should do. I've never been that way. It's like you're trying to tell me to run a race with no legs. You're trying to tell me to do something that I innately just cannot do. And when I say I can't do that...
Yeah, it's interesting. My dad always said to focus on what you're good at and to not really try to get good at what you're bad at and just outsource it if you can. Again, she's trying to make him into something that he just isn't.
In 2 weeks, I'll be moving out. I'll have my own place again. I'm starting over, starting my life over. And you guys know I couldn't make videos in the house. The only time I can make YouTube videos is when she's gone. And you might be thinking, well, why is that? She would come in here from her room and say, hey, you're too loud. Hey, I'm trying to read. I'm like, wait, what? I gotta talk. I gotta make a video. I'm disturbing her. And yes, I'm venting and I'm ranting. If you stayed this long, thank you. But I needed to get this off my chest because it was brewing. Deeply hurt. And I hurt myself. I don't blame her at all. Everything that I've chosen to do is because I wanted to do it. I wanted to make someone happy. I thought I can be that person for someone else. And I thought I can do it. I thought I can get away from YouTube and Yu-Gi-Oh! And street performing. I thought I can go back to school and pass and get a real job and make some good money to pay all my bills. I thought I could be that man who could do those things. But the truth is, I have special gifts and talents that other people wish they had to be able to make money and do things in ways people wish they could. It's ironic, isn't it? It's ironic that I wish that I can go to school and work a 9-to-5 job all day long and pay all my bills. It's ironic that I want to do what people hate to do. They hate to go in and live a mundane life. They hate that. They want to have their own business. They want to make their own money. They want to have their free time. I had that. Literally, I would work 3 hours a day and have enough at the end of the month to pay all my bills and do whatever I need and travel. But that wasn't good enough for the person I was with. It wasn't secured enough. What if you didn't make enough? Was the question. What about medical bills? What about this? What about that? What about retirement? What about all the stuff? I truly want to do YouTube full time. Not for a living. Yes, money comes along with it. And yes, my channel is dead. But I'll do it as a hobby. Because I like doing it and I can't give it up. I've made a video about not giving up before. I said I would never give up. I just can't. I enjoy making videos. I enjoy playing Yu-Gi-Oh! I enjoy being with my friends and doing those things. Even at this age, even 15 years later.
This broke my heart to watch because you could just tell how passionate he was about his hobbies and how much he liked it. And I don't know why society, and I even see conservatives do this, they shame men for playing video games when Elon Musk is the #5 Diablo player in the world. I don't even know what Diablo is. I know it's some sort of video game. And if the men like it, why do the women have to tear down at the things they like and change him into something he's not? And we always hear women say that if he found me in the club, he can't tell me to stop going. Why do women think it's okay to tell men what they can and can't do? All right, guys, make sure you like the video on your way out and subscribe. And if you have any questions for this guy, he's coming on the channel on Wednesday. The show starts at 3 Central as normal, but he's coming on at 3:30. Like the video and subscribe. And thank you guys so much for watching. I will catch you guys tomorrow for another episode of Pearl Daily. See you guys.